paint a picture for me of what it was like before working with me, what your life was like, where you were kind of looking for some help.
I've recently changed or decided to sort of change careers in the sense that I started investing more on the creative, artistic perspective instead of teaching as much. And at this turning point in life, I felt that I was not so in tune with the works of the moment. And I felt that I needed to find somebody who was much younger than me too, but wise, to sort of facilitate this process of something trying to be born, because I feel that there's a part of me that needed to peel a lot of layers. It doesn't mean that I wasn't going to go back to teaching, or things are still unfolding, but I don't want to have so much control over the process. But it's always good to go into a new area and look for new skills alongside somebody who is respected in the field, who has some knowledge more than you, in the sense, more than I had in this case. And you fit it in perfectly. You had the requirements because you were a writer as well, and on top of that, you won prizes. So you were pretty much recognized, and it helps. It helps. But that wasn't the first time I saw you. Was in as I said in that little note I gave you, in the embodiment conference, which was to do with this need that I felt that I needed. I needed to find my writer's voice, but I wanted to do it with another person, and that's it, basically. So that's what's changed a lot, because this kind of mirroring that you did ended up giving me confidence, because I was afraid. I was really afraid of getting into that process of exposure, because when you're talking about things that are so personal as well, it's like being naked in front of an audience, and it's can be scary. And it's nice to go to those places that it's like getting into a river that you don't really know exactly what it's like, and you kind of have somebody next to you and saying, oh, look at these stones, they're very interesting. Well, what about this one over there? And you slowly get into the process, and you're just there all of a sudden. And sometimes we need that help, and I feel that it was the right moment, the right time, the right person. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks, Paula. And what has happened in your life since you started working with me?
Synchronicities. A lot of synchronicities started happening too. As I was writing our conversations, people come to me, talking about certain and offering job offerings as well, proposals. And another one that I noticed that I hadn't seen for a while, the numbers, lots of repetitions, the hours, like 14, 11, things like that. So it was very interesting to notice that even the maths was getting into alignment. So yeah. And then the book happened,
Right.
In these 3 months.
You wrote a book.
The book was written, So that was amazing. And I felt this urge to just go and do it. And it was nice to have feedback from you. And it was like fire, because when you talk to someone about something and the other person reflects, that energy, and it kind of makes it expansive and, bigger. So it was really good. It was very good altogether. I only have to say, good things. Yep.
Awesome. So you wrote a book, which is amazing. And what else did you come away with after coaching? I know you talked about the
Wow.
exposure piece. What else have you been working on?
Well, I was really afraid of going online as an online presence, and I was very, how do you say, I felt a lot of resistance in dealing with the material side of it, in the sense of how do we do that? How do we set up the website? How do we go on LinkedIn? And you helped me throughout these things, you know. And this is the thing about a generation gap too. It's wonderful because you're so versatile in these different media, you know, social media, and it helped me a lot too. So that was another one. So like, I wrote a book. I got to so it was a lot. It was a lot. Immense.
What would you say to someone who maybe is thinking about coaching with me, maybe is on the fence, and they need someone to like give them some insight into it? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say that you make people work. So if they really mean it, you're the right person, because you pull the strings, but very gently, because you're not forcing, but gently you're kind of going, you know, how about this? And I felt like I was just pulling the strings, you know, and the future was coming closer to the present every time. So that's it. And also because you've got many skills, like the time traveling, this idea of time traveling, and you really felt what I needed, and then you gave back to me, and somehow it felt like we spoke the same language in different ways, but we had we were in alignment with what needed to be done, and the language as well, you know, the sort of time traveling, going to the future and then seeing the future self. Because I was also very careful. I wanted to be careful because I wanted my soul I wanted to do the work of the soul, but we have to forget the ego that thinks that, oh, this is the way to go, or that is the way to go. And then you did it beautifully, because you listened to my concerns, and the way you arranged the exercises was that I could still feel it, but not envision the whole outcome, because that's not, for me, I didn't feel that was a good thing, to see the full month, you know, the full spectrum of what the future would be like. I didn't want that either. And you were very careful with that. So I like that too, because we left it a little bit open, but at the same time, we went into action, and, you know, steadily we went through the whole process. The words that come to my mind is catapulting as well. I like that word. It felt like a really long journey as well. You know, it was 3 months, but it felt like it was something more. I don't know how to find what's the word, but it felt like a long journey at the same time.